Hey there, my fishing friends and fellow anglers. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for all things fishing, forecasts, and fantastic catches. I'm your resident fishing expert, and today we're diving deep into what promises to be a truly special week on the Australian waters. We're talking about the period from the 29th of September to the 5th of October 2025. This isn't just any week, it's a pivotal moment as spring really kicks into gear, bringing with it some exciting changes for our finned friends. So if you've been itching to cast a line, stick around because I'm going to reveal some amazing insights and practical tips that will absolutely boost your chances of landing that trophy fish. You're going to discover why this week, with its specific weather patterns and moon phases, offers a unique window of opportunity that you absolutely don't want to miss. Get ready, because the water is calling, and this week could be one for the record books in many parts of coastal Australia. Let's talk tactics and target species, my friends. Based on the spring activity we're seeing and the warming waters, we've got some prime opportunities for bream, flathead, and snapper. These are quintessential Australian spring targets, and understanding their behavior this week will make all the difference. First up, let's chat about bream, e.t. These feisty fighters are a spring staple, and this week, with the water slowly warming, they're going to be on the hunt for food. Where to look for them? Bream will be actively cruising the shallower areas of estuaries and bays, especially around structures. Think about those fallen trees, rock walls, oyster leases, and even boat moorings. The slightly warmer water from the increased daytime temperatures will encourage them into these areas. Also, don't overlook weed beds, especially those with sandy patches nearby. The sun penetration will be better, providing warmer pockets and attracting small baitfish and crustaceans, a bream's favorite meal. Early mornings and late afternoons will be prime, particularly on days with stable pressure and light winds. What to use? For bream, light tackle is key. A light spin rod, roughly 2 to 4 kilograms, paired with a 2,000 to 2,500 size reel, spooled with 4 to 6 pound braid, is ideal. For bait, fresh prawns, nippers, yabbies, or strips of pilchard will be irresistible. Small, soft plastics in natural prawn or baitfish colors, rigged on a 1/16 or 1/12 ounce jig head, worked slowly along the bottom or bounced off structure, will also be incredibly effective. Small, hard-bodied lures cast tight to structure and retrieved with a slow, erratic twitch can also draw aggressive strikes. Remember, bream can be a bit shy, so a light fluorocarbon leader of about 4 to 6 pounds is a must. Next, we're moving on to the cunning flathead. These ambush predators are super active in spring, and the conditions this week look promising for them. Where to look for them? Flathead loves sandy and muddy bottoms, especially where there are drop-offs, weed edges, or estuary mouths. As the water warms, they'll be moving into slightly shallower water to feed and soak up the sun. Look for them around tidal flats on an incoming tide, particularly where channels run into the flats. Also, don't forget those sand channels between broken weed beds in the bays. They'll sit camouflaged, waiting to ambush unsuspecting baitfish. On the days with stronger westerly winds, look for sheltered bays and coves where the water remains calmer and clearer. What to use? A medium light spin rod, 3 to 6 kilograms, with a 2,500 to 3,000 size reel spooled with 8 to 10 pound braid, is perfect. For lures, soft plastics are king for flathead. Think paddle tail or grub tail plastics, 3 to 5 inches in length, in natural colors like motor oil or pearl white. Rig them on jig heads from 1/4 to 3/8 of an ounce, depending on the current and depth. Cast them out, let them sink to the bottom, and retrieve with a slow hop and pause action. Hard-bodied lures that dive to 1 meter or 2 can also be deadly when trolled or cast across shallow flats. Fresh prawns or pilchard fillets make excellent bait if you prefer that approach, fished on a running sinker rig. And finally, the highly sought-after snapper. Spring is when these beauties start making their move inshore, getting ready for spawning. especially as we head towards October. Where to look for them? Snapper will be congregating around offshore reefs, rocky headlands, and deeper sections of larger bays. As the water warms, some will push into shallower reef patches and even closer to the coast. Look for them in depths of 10 to 30 meters. Structure is key. Isolated bommies, submerged reefs, and even artificial structures like wrecks or channel markers can hold good numbers. The warming water this week, especially towards the end of our forecast period, will see increased activity. Focus your efforts around dawn and dusk, particularly during the first quarter and waxing gibbous moon phases, as they often correspond with increased feeding. What to use? You'll want a slightly heavier outfit for snapper. A 5 to 10 kilogram spin or overhead rod paired with a 4,000 to 6,000 size reel spooled with 20 to 30 pound braid. Leader material should be fluorocarbon 20 to 30 pounds. For bait, fresh pilchards, squid, or oily fish like slimy mackerel are top choices, fished on a paternoster or snelled rig. For lure fishing, soft plastics are still incredibly effective. 5 to 7 inch jerk shads or curltail grubs in natural colors rigged on half to 1 ounce jig heads. Slowly lift and drop them, mimicking a dying baitfish. Also, slow pitch jigs or micro jigs can be very productive when worked vertically over structure. All right, my expert friends, let's dig into the nitty-gritty, the underlying conditions that will dictate our fishing success this week. Weather. Looking at the forecast for coastal Australia, particularly around the Sydney region, we're in for a mixed bag, but generally leaning towards stable and pleasant spring conditions. Temperature. Air temperatures will be comfortable, ranging from minimums of around 13 to 18 degrees Celsius overnight, rising to pleasant maximums of 22 to 29 degrees Celsius during the day. This warming trend is a fantastic sign for fish activity. The warmer daytime temperatures will start to heat the shallower water, encouraging baitfish and predators alike to move inshore and feed more aggressively. Atmospheric pressure. While specific pressure data isn't easily available for this future date, the general pattern of mostly sunny days with light winds suggests relatively stable atmospheric pressure for much of the week. Stable high pressure often leads to more consistent fishing. However, the chance of showers early in the week and the wind shifts could indicate minor pressure fluctuations, which might make fish a bit more cautious on those specific days. Look for the consistent sunny periods as your best bet for stable pressure and good feeding windows. Wind. We'll see a bit of variety in the wind this week. Early on, we have light east to southeasterly winds, shifting to northeasterly, and then later in the week, westerly to southwesterly winds. Winds around 15 to 30 kilometers per hour are expected. North to northeasterly winds can often bring warmer water currents to the coast, which can fire up some species. Westerly winds can flatten the swell and make offshore conditions more comfortable, but can also make inshore areas very choppy. Pay attention to wind direction and strength, and seek out sheltered areas if the wind picks up. For example, a strong westerly might make the western side of an estuary or bay a calmer, more productive spot. Precipitation. There's a chance of a shower or two early in the week, particularly on Monday, with up to 2.5 millimeters of rain. The rest of the week looks mostly dry and sunny. Light rain can sometimes stir up bait and bring nutrients into the water, briefly increasing fish activity. However, heavy downpours can muddy the water, which can turn fish off. Given the light forecast, it shouldn't be a major issue, and the following sunny days will quickly clear things up. Water temperature. The water temperature in coastal areas like Sydney is trending upwards, reflecting the transition from winter to spring. We're looking at average sea temperatures around 18 degrees Celsius in late September, gradually increasing to around 19 degrees Celsius by early October. This gradual warming is absolutely crucial. As the water temperature rises, the metabolism of fish increases, making them more active and hungry. It also triggers baitfish movements and the availability of crustaceans, leading to better feeding opportunities for our target species. This is why spring is such a fantastic time to be on the water. Moon phase. Now let's talk about the moon, because, as you know, it has a significant pull on our tides and, many believe, on fish activity. This week, we start with a first quarter moon on the 29th of September, and then move into a waxing gibbous phase, heading towards the full moon on the 6th of October. First quarter and waxing gibbous. The first quarter moon and the subsequent waxing gibbous phase are often considered excellent times for fishing by many anglers. The gravitational pull of the moon during these phases leads to good tidal movement, not as extreme as a full or new moon, but strong enough to stimulate feeding without being too difficult to fish. Many old-timers swear by the period leading up to the full moon, often called the build-up, as fish become more active in anticipation. The 45% illumination on Monday, increasing to 74% by Thursday, indicates strengthening tides throughout the week, which generally means more active fish. Focus on the peak tidal movements. Those hour-long windows around the turn of the tide can be especially productive. General fish activity. Overall, coastal Australia is entering a period of high biological activity for many species. Spring is a time of renewed life and energy. Baitfish populations are increasing, and many predatory species are starting to put on condition in preparation for, or recovery from, spawning. Increased feeding. With warming waters and increasing daylight hours, expect to find fish more willing to chase lures and take bait. This is a time of pre-spawn or early spawn feeding for some species like snapper, where they're actively trying to build up energy reserves. Variety of species. Beyond our main targets, you can also expect to encounter other active species like tailor and perhaps even early-season mahi-mahi offshore as the water continues to warm. Even barramundi in the northern parts of Australia will be quite active during this period. The key is to be adaptable and observant. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the daily breakdown of the fishing prospects. I've crunched the numbers, combined the forecasts, and here's my best expert prediction for your week ahead. Monday, the 29th of September. We start the week with a first quarter moon and a chance of showers. Air temperature from 15 to 22 degrees Celsius, with light easterly to southeasterly winds. Forecast, medium to tricky. The slight chance of rain and wind shift could make fish a bit cautious. Focus on sheltered spots and slow presentations, especially for bream in estuaries. The strengthening tides might still encourage some feeding, particularly in the later afternoon. Tuesday, the 30th of September. Mostly sunny skies with temperatures from 15 to 29 degrees Celsius and light north to northeasterly winds. The moon is still in its first quarter phase, illuminating 55%. Forecast, good. A beautiful day with stable, warming conditions. The northerly winds can be great for bringing warmer water inshore. Target Flathead on sandy flats and bream around structure. This could be a productive day, especially as the sun gets higher. Wednesday, the 1st of October. Sunny and warm, with temperatures from 18 to 27 degrees Celsius. Winds will be north to northwesterly, 15 to 25 kilometers per hour. We're now moving into a waxing gibbous moon with 65% illumination. Forecast, good to excellent. And this looks like a prime fishing day. Stable pressure, warm temperatures, and a building moon phase. Snapper should be active offshore on reefs, and Flathead will be very keen in the estuaries. Take advantage of the pleasant conditions and target those peak tide changes. Thursday, the 2nd of October. Mostly sunny, with temperatures from 15 to 26 degrees Celsius. Winds will be northwesterly, tending westerly, 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. The moon continues its waxing gibbous phase, 74% illuminated. Forecast, good. The westerly winds might pick up, so seek out sheltered eastern shorelines. While the wind can be a factor, the continued warm weather and strong moon phase suggest fish will remain active. Offshore snapper could be very good if you can find comfortable conditions. Inshore, Flathead will still be on the bite. Friday, the 3rd of October. Partly cloudy with cooler temperatures from 13 to 22 degrees Celsius. Winds will be westerly, tending southwesterly, 15 to 25 kilometers per hour. The waxing gibbous moon is still strong. Forecast, average to good. The temperature drop and shift to southwesterly winds could slightly slow things down, particularly for shallow water species. However, Flathead might still be active in deeper channels or sheltered areas. Snapper could be hit and miss, but still worth targeting, especially around dawn and dusk. Saturday, the 4th of October. Sunny with temperatures from 13 to 24 degrees Celsius. Light winds becoming east to southeasterly, 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. The waxing gibbous moon continues its progression towards full. Forecast, good. A beautiful weekend day shaping up. With lighter, stable winds and sunny conditions, fish should be more comfortable. Target bream and flathead in estuaries and consider a run offshore for snapper if conditions allow. The building moon phase will continue to drive feeding activity. Sunday, the 5th of October. Sunny and pleasant, with temperatures from 15 to 24 degrees Celsius. Light winds. The last day before the full moon, still in the waxing gibbous phase. Forecast, good to excellent. This is another cracker of a day for fishing. Very stable weather, gentle winds, and the moon is almost full, which often triggers an aggressive bite. Expect good activity across all target species, particularly snapper and flathead. This is your chance for a memorable Sunday session on the water. There you have it, my friends, a comprehensive breakdown for the week ahead. I really hope this forecast puts you on some fantastic fish. Remember, fishing is all about adapting, enjoying the outdoors, and learning something new every time you cast a line. So get out there, embrace the spring conditions, and tight lines to you all. May your reels scream and your coolers be heavy. Before you go, if you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. That really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our weekly forecasts and fishing tips. Also, I love hearing from you. What are your plans for this week's fishing? What species are you targeting in your local area? What was your best catch last week? Share your stories and tips in the comments below. Let's build this community together. Until next time, stay safe on the water and good luck. Ni chvosta, ni cheshuyi. That's Russian for neither tail nor scales, a traditional wish for good luck in fishing.